So, friends, in a court hearing on Monday in Abrego Garcia's deportation case, the presiding judge, Judge Paula Xinis, said that trying to get a straight answer out of Donald Trump's DOJ lawyers was like, quote, nailing jello to the wall. Judge Xinis also went on to tell those lawyers that they are, quote, creating chaos. Let's talk about that, because justice matters. Hey all, Glenn Kirshner here. So friends, these third-rate DOJ lawyers that Pam Bondi is sending into court are an absolute embarrassment to the Department of Justice and to the American people. And the presiding judge in Abrego Garcia's deportation case in Maryland, Judge Paula Xinis, pulled no punches in a court hearing on Monday. Let's start with the new reporting. This from Reuters. Headline, U.S. judge rules Abrego Garcia's challenge to wrongful deportation can proceed. And that article begins, a U.S. judge ruled on Monday that Kilmar Abrego's legal challenge to his wrongful deportation to El Salvador can continue despite the decision by Donald Trump's administration to bring him back to the United States to face criminal charges. Maryland-based U.S. District Judge Paula Xinis found that there were ongoing issues to resolve in the case, including whether the Trump administration fully complied with prior orders to facilitate Abrego's return and allow his immigration case to be handled as though he had not been improperly deported. Judge Xinis, during Monday's hearing, expressed frustration over the Trump administration's handling of the case, particularly the uncertainty over a potential second deportation. A federal judge overseeing Abrego's criminal case ordered last month that Abrego be released, but the Trump administration has said it plans to immediately take him into immigration custody and bring new deportation proceedings. And this from the judge, quote, it's chaos, and it's chaos that can be avoided, Xinis said on Monday. Judge Xinis ordered U.S. officials to testify on Thursday about the Trump administration's plans for Abrego if he's released from criminal custody. Abrego sued in Maryland federal court to challenge his deportation to El Salvador and is now seeking to revise the lawsuit following his return to the United States. Abrego's lawyers have asked that he be returned to Maryland and be given an opportunity to challenge any future deportation. In rejecting the Trump administration's bid to dismiss the civil lawsuit, Xinis found there was a risk that Abrego could be improperly deported again. And here's the judge addressing the DOJ lawyers. Quote, for 3 months, your clients, meaning DHS officials, Trump administration officials, Trump himself, your clients told the world they weren't going to do anything to bring him back. Xinis told a Justice Department lawyer, am I really supposed to ignore all that? And friends, just to build a little bit on that Reuters reporting, here's some of the reporting by Politico. Headline, like nailing jello to a wall, judge scolds DOJ for shifting positions on Abrego deportations. And that article begins, a federal judge grew frustrated Monday over the Trump administration's shifting claims about its handling of Kilmar Abrego Garcia's illegal deportation to El Salvador and whether it, the government, the Trump administration, plans to deport him again before a criminal case against him is resolved. U.S. District Judge Paula Xinis said getting certain answers from the administration was like nailing jello to a wall, and ordered the Justice Department to produce a witness from the Department of Homeland Security on Thursday to testify about the government's designs for Abrego. Now, friends, just to be clear, today's court hearing involved DOJ's attempt to get Judge Xinis to dismiss, to throw out Abrego Garcia's lawsuit that he brought against Kristi Noem, DHS, and others for being illegally and unconstitutionally deported to El Salvador and stuffed into a terrorist prison. And not only did Judge Xinis refuse to dismiss the case, she ordered DHS officials to appear in her courtroom on Thursday and testify under oath about what in the hell they intend to do to Abrego Garcia next. So friends, let's finish with this, because in advance of this hearing, these third-rate DOJ lawyers filed a 9-page brief setting out their arguments regarding, why the judge should just go ahead and dismiss this lawsuit that was brought against Kristi Noem and company. It's in the case of Kilmar Armando Abrego Garcia et al. And others, plaintiffs versus Kristi Noem, Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security et al., defendants. And it is the defendants, meaning the Trump administration's, reply in support of defendants' motion to dismiss as moot. And friends, in the first few pages of this brief, these DOJ lawyers just sort of repeat the same thing over and over again like a mantra. This court must dismiss under Rule 12b-1. The court must dismiss plaintiff's complaint. This case is moot and should be dismissed. And friends, essentially, in this brief, they're arguing to the judge that, look, Judge, there's no need to continue this lawsuit. I mean, eventually we brought Abrego Garcia back, so why don't you just go ahead and dismiss this lawsuit? It's all moot. It's all water under the bridge. No harm, no foul. Well, first of all, there's plenty of harm, and it's certainly a foul when you illegally and unconstitutionally deport somebody to a prison in El Salvador. El Salvador being a country that an immigration judge previously ordered Abrego Garcia could not be deported to. But then here is my favorite part of this DOJ brief. They say, well, the government, meaning the Trump administration, has corrected its own mistake. And they say it was a one-off mistake that the government, the Trump administration, conceded was an administrative error that the court ordered the government, the Trump administration, to remedy, and that the government has now remedied. How do you like that tone, friends? Look, Judge, this was a one-off mistake. It's like they're talking about a basketball player missing a free throw. Judge, this was a one-off. No big deal. No harm, no foul. Yeah, it is a foul, and there's plenty of harm. But then they actually go on to say this. They say, presuming that the government, the Trump administration, would ever do this again, would remove Abrego Garcia to El Salvador, presuming that we would ever do such a thing again, defies logic. Let that settle, friends. These DOJ lawyers, presumably with a straight face, tell the judge, the notion that we would ever do something like this again, violate Abrego Garcia's rights, deprive him of his due process guarantee of notice and opportunity to be heard, just, assuming we would do this again to him or any other immigrant, defies logic. No, it comports with logic based on what we've seen from this runaway, lawless president and his administration. Of course, they're going to continue to violate the rights of the Abrego Garcias of the world. So no, it doesn't defy logic. It comports with both logic and with our lived experience for the past 6 or 7 months. But the good news is Judge Xinis was having none of it. Because what is abundantly clear from every moment Judge Xinis has presided over the Abrego Garcia deportation case, what's clear is that to Judge Xinis, like to us, justice matters. Friends, as always, please stay safe, please stay tuned, and I look forward to talking with you all again tomorrow.